Hey, how's it going, everybody? Renee here, back on the back porch today. And I was just thinking about a passage we're going to be looking at this weekend in church. It's in Mark chapter 14, where Jesus goes to the Garden of Gethsemane. This is an olive press that was in the Mount of Olives, that was across the valley from the temple, from the city of Jerusalem. He has just had the Last Supper with his disciples. He knows that the next thing for him is going to be the arrest, the trials, and the crucifixion. And Jesus does not want to go through that. Jesus is not relishing the thought. And so he falls on his knees, and in the Garden of Gethsemane, he prays a prayer that I think applies to anything that you and I are facing today. If you're facing a challenge, if you're feeling an anxiety, you can learn so much from this perfect prayer of Jesus Christ. I wish they would call this one the Lord's Prayer instead of the one we call the Lord's Prayer. That's beautiful too, but this is so short, so succinct, so memorable. Jesus prays, Mark 14:36, and we're going to dive in deep on this verse this weekend, so be prepared to learn more about this. But he prays, and see if you can see the four components in this prayer. He says, Abba Father, everything is possible for you. Let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not what my will, but your will be done. Abba Father, he acknowledges God is a gracious God. Abba was an Aramaic term for daddy or papa. God is an intimate, loving Heavenly Father. God is not your adversary trying to make your life miserable. So you start your prayer with that first component, Abba Father. And then you go to, everything is possible for you. Can you acknowledge that? Do you believe that? That anything is possible for God. Anything. Abba Father, he says, everything is possible for you. And then the third component of his prayer is his heartfelt request. He says, let this cup pass from me. And maybe your prayer is like the prayer of Christ. You want to pray, God, I am going through suffering, through disease, through a tough time. Let this pass from me. Or maybe your heartfelt prayer is about a challenge you're facing. God, help me to meet that challenge. Help me to succeed. And then the fourth component of his prayer is this, nevertheless, not my will, but your will be done. Can you see how that is the perfect prayer? A prayer you can start applying the minute you stop watching this devotion today. Whatever you're facing today, pray about it the way Jesus prayed in the Garden of Gethsemane. Abba, Father, you start with that. Second, everything is possible for you. Then third, you present your request to God. And then fourth, you say, but God, whatever you want to do, I'm all in. Not my will, but your will be done. Man, that prayer, the prayer of Christ in the garden, can give you such peace and such strength and such courage and such security and confidence. I urge you to pray that today and then join us this weekend as in church at Twin Lakes Church, we dive down deep into Christ's experience in the Garden of Gethsemane. God bless you. Have a great weekend.